it in a room with nothing but their own thoughts. They also had the option to hit a button that gives themselves an electric shock. Getting physically shocked is unpleasant, but many people preferred it to the emotional discomfort of boredom. Out of 42 participants, nearly half opted to press the button at least once, even though they had experienced the shock earlier in the study and reported that they would pay money to avoid experiencing it again. But this is the big thing in this story. One male outlier opted to shock himself 190 times. 190 times. This person preferred to not be quiet with his thoughts and deal with whatever he was, dealing with, boredom. He needed something to distract him. He needed something to always do. So he shocked himself 190 times. In 1902, Albert Einstein applied to become a patent clerk at the Federal Office for Intellectual Property in Bern, which is in Switzerland. Now, although he would have rather worked as a teacher or lab assistant, the monotonous job turned out to be a very vital step in his career. While his body was busy organizing files and mulling over stacks of paperwork, his unstimulated mind was free to wander, leading him to some of his greatest scientific discovery. It was a boring job, but because he let himself get to that state where his brain can rest, he was able to think, find solutions to big problems. Some people tell you that when they're in the shower, for example, they get great ideas. People can't escape these days without having to play something on their phone. Watch a movie. I do it. I have to be very honest. When I get into a taxi or get into keke, to dissociate myself from society, I put on my earplugs and I'm watching a cartoon. I'm watching an action movie. Captain America swinging, his hands, punching and saving lives. Superman flying. That's my go-to thing. But yes, sometimes, particularly when I'm done here with my set, I take some time, breathe in, breathe out, what's going on. Writers have what's called a writer's block. Those of you who are writers who are listening to me, you probably know what I'm talking about. The same thing happens to us as presenters, as journalists. Sometimes we can't quite figure out what we need to do, what we want to do. So we take a chill pill. But today, in 2023, research shows that a lot of people are not happy in their own thoughts. People are dealing with pressures. How do I get 2,000 likes on my iCloud or my Instagram or my Twitter, whatever? How do I get up to 200,000 followers? Yada. All of these measures are beginning to put untold stress and strain on the human psyche today. People are scared of being bored. Remember when we were younger, there used to be this line, the idle mind is the devil's workshop. But apparently, some people are not even giving themselves the time to be idle, to think creatively. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our conversations this morning.
And now, Hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
As always, do us a favor, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or different comments. If you didn't see it, hear it, please do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. Very important that you do that. And then do not make inciting statements. The numbers to call 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0003 and 0817-923-0007. Permit me to repeat the numbers again. 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp and Telegram available on 0809-030 6416.
Nigeria Info, the talk station of the nation.
And then at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X, Twitter, at Nigeria Info PH. Let's have a conversation, shall we? How are you managing boredom? How do you manage boredom? And how should you be managing your boredom? So, our studio lines, there's a call screener, by the way. So please have your name dropped with the call screener, and then we can have you engage with us in the studio. How are you managing boredom? On Facebook, a very interesting comment on Facebook. Kennedy Halliday says, good morning, please. Who sang the song you just played? Well, it's called Unchained Melody, and it was done by the Righteous Brothers. In fact, there's actually another version by the King of Rock talking about Elvis Presley. So the name of the song is Unchained Melody. But anyway, thank you very much for taking an interest in that. It was Throwback Thursday. Zion is in GRA. Let's get to hear from Zion. Zion, good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Good morning to you, Jude.
Good morning.
That environment, I only look at it that people who have nothing to offer in life, who don't have a future ambition, that always find themselves in that premise. And out of that premise, some of them have gotten pregnant because I am bored. Some of them have lost a lot of valuable because I am bored. Some of them, you see people get themselves indulged into unnecessary things. Most of our sisters today, the reason they got their first kids because they are bored at home. I just make I come out, come through, and they got themselves into a problem. I get to find out that even it narrows down to relationships. Many marriages are so bored. Nothing. Work, church, house, marriage, finish. Outside this premise, nothing. Even at home, they cannot discuss. Couples cannot discuss. They can't even argue, as in, when I mean argue, as in argumentative. Something that should make girls vibrant. They have nothing to talk. That is why when the marriage ends, they feel like committing suicide. When the relationship ends, they feel like committing suicide. Hey, come on.
Okay, Zion, thank you very much. That's a drop cost in error. Apologies. And if you can call back or send them us a message. Now, once again, I need to say this, right? There is a positive to boredom. Like I said earlier, there's a natural way that the body, the mind is meant to use boredom. Like I said, sometimes when you are in a state of boredom, that's when great ideas, when you are relaxed, it's called the resting state of the brain. So when you are doing very strenuous activity, you're reading, for example, you're studying, or you're driving a vehicle, it's called the land reflex, by the way, talking about driving a vehicle, or you are sweeping the compound or whatnot, right? After a while, you realize you're used to these things, so it's not exciting. But when you are doing these things, right, your brain can start to think. It's resting because your brain has learned how to do these things automatically. It gives you the opportunity to think about new things. So you're back from work, hard day at work, you come down, nothing to do, I'm just bored. There is a positive way to use this. Remember, the experiment said they just asked people, sit down for 15 minutes alone. No phone, nothing. If you feel you cannot stay for 15 minutes, press this button. It will shock you. People preferred to shock themselves than to sit down to think with their own thoughts, with their own maybe demons or whatever for 15 minutes. We've now become a race of instantaneous gratification. Do you think it's coincidence that a lot of you are hooked onto likes, retweets, follows, follow me for follow? Have you ever wondered why it is so important for you to have these things? Sit down alone and ask yourself, if I'm bored, what do I do? Michael in Borokri. Michael, I'm going to give you a minute, please. Go on.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
I think I sincerely appreciate the fact that you've taken time to read what the scope of this discussion means. Because I found it so shocking to hear somebody who say because somebody has nothing to offer, that's why it is bored. I don't think so. I don't think that's correct, because if you actually pointed out, there are some positive and some negative of being bored. At least being bored gives you the idea to reflect on some great ideas. Most ideas we are celebrating in service as a result of this boredom from that person's mind. So I don't think it's right for anyone to say people who are bored have nothing to offer, like you put people down. Do you know if boredom could lead to suicidal thoughts?
Very true. That's what we talk about. Disease. That's what I say. It can be an indication of a disease.
Yeah. So when you talk down to people like that, you actually make the matter worse. It says people, they have nothing to offer. They are this, they are that. It's so wrong. At least we should learn to talk in the public. That's what the system results.
So, Michael, very quickly, how do you manage your boredom if you do get bored? What do you do?
Yeah, sincerely, if there's power, or if I have the finance to power my gen set, I turn on the TV and watch some action movies, gun movies. Or sometimes I turn on to National Geographic Channel. I watch animals and I laugh.
Okay, all right. So he keeps his mind stimulated. We're back in the break.
Wow.
Some comments that have come through on our subject matter. If you're just joining us, we're talking about boredom, and I'm asking, how do you manage boredom? And I've read earlier, and I'm going to share some of the information I've found out over the past few days studying this, is that there is a proper way to handle boredom. But in our time, the 21st century, it seems a little bit more difficult than it used to be in the past. Now, this from an anonymous listener says that, Jude, that shower thing is like juju. No matter how blocked my mind is, whether I'm trying to figure out an answer or I have writer's block, I get clarity when I enter the bathroom. Sometimes when I'm brushing my teeth, so water hasn't even touched my body. When I am bored, I try to meditate or repeat my affirmations in my mind. Emphasis on the word try. My husband said, there is a proper way. When you are bored, actually your brain is in its rest state. It's not doing anything that is working over time. But we live in a period of our existence on this planet where people have become so used to instantaneous gratification. It's a little wonder why, right? Now, here we are. People want to get the quickest DMs. They want to get responses. They want to get stimuli everywhere. Some of you have paid for 7 or 8 subscriptions for different streaming sites. 7 or 8. What do you need 7 or 8 subscriptions for? What? If anything, that showed that people are worried about their own mind. Forget about being in the bubble. But are you comfortable in your own head? Are you comfortable in your own space? How many of you can sit down in your house, drop your phone, maybe read a book, and let your mind creatively solve problems for you? No, it is not an Oyibo problem. It is a human problem.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
Headline News.
night, that's me. That is me. Now, other activities are boring because they are unreceptive to stimulation. Think of someone who plays a cello or a drum set, for example, right? And after a while, the person says the excitement is no longer there. I can't create music. It's not worth doing that any longer. But you are good at this. But the person tells, I'm not feeling it. So you see, boredom can be indicative of something underlying, of something that's wrong. The question is right now, how are you managing your boredom? We have Mebere from Rumaholu and Miriam in Okrika. Mebere, good morning to you. Welcome, please. Hello. Hello. Good morning, Mebere. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, please.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go on. We have Miriam waiting on the line, so let's hear from you, Mebere. Oh dear. Miriam in Okrika. Good morning to you, Miriam.
Thank you, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Jude, when people experience boredom, it doesn't necessarily mean they are unproductive or they are lazy. Just the Jude, even the rich and very wealthy and very beautiful people experience boredom. And that's why you see that you see themselves in their relationships. They just want to do relax. I know of a very rich man that goes with his family and he sponsors one or two families as well. To go so that they just play, they just to be with people. Because in all their life, they're just in their mansion and their palaces and so they just want to go around friends, family, just a bite. Around their family, let's go. So these are boredom situations. And Jude, for guys, when a man is experiencing it, sometimes and those so busy that you just set you just set it, and you don't think there is a way you can pause, just pause, call on your friends, most times, don't hang out, call them, just hang out with them and hang out, take bottles. If you watch movies, wow, gee, all those things can take us boredom. And for a lady, if you have friends, hang out too, but if you want to avoid too much friends and problems, if you can do shopping for yourself, trust me, a good shopping takes that boredom from a woman. If you can buy yourself few new beautiful shoes, bags, and all those things that can give you excitement, it can erase boredom. And do you know that technology, this phone, has increased this boredom, these situations, and as hereby it has made people suicidal. People are just clinged to their phones.
That's the big problem.
What they're doing, just like you say, subscribing 7 or 8 times, even more than that. People subscribe Netflix and all movie stations. They're subscribing every month, and then you're just on your own, bend your leg, you're just watching. It can lead to boredom. For one, just leave that phone, hang out with people. Don't just call them. Don't just call family relatives. Sometimes travel with your family. So one, send your children. Just interact with people, not just phone. All those things can even erase and can reduce these boredom situations. But not necessarily people that are lazy, honestly.
All right, Muriel, thank you very much. Boredom doesn't necessarily mean that someone is lazy. Like I gave the story of Albert Einstein, who used that menial, boring job to think about big problems and ended up, creating some of the most amazing solutions that we today are still benefiting from. But you see, still, as we are today, boredom is, as a study, is very difficult because it differs on a case-by-case basis. My name is Jude. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt. As always, turn down the volume of your radio set, refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Please do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims, and do not make inciting comments. The numbers to call 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. We have a caller on standby, very polite, so please just say hello, good morning, my name is so-and-so, and you like to talk to Jude about so-and-so. Your name will be taken, and the computer in front of me will indicate. All right, capiche? Are we good? Very good. Now, on Facebook and Twitter, at Nigeria InfoPH, at Nigeria InfoPH, Kennedy Halliday says, thank you for the information. When I am bored, I look for good comedy from the Bill Cosby Show and Sanford and Son, etc. I agree. I endorse those programs. Those are great comedies talking about Sanford and Sons, Bill Cosby. I can go on to say Different World. Let's see, which The Village Headmaster. It's classic. If you can get your hand on The Village Headmaster, you would not regret, and I mean, you would not regret it. It's Nigerian, by the way. You will not regret watching The Village Headmaster and New Masquerade. These are absolutely fantastic comedy. It gets to show you the creative side and the funny side of human interaction. So please, a great way to handle your boredom. But once again, like I said earlier on, and this is not for me, all right? Prior to getting to read Elon Musk's comment, I didn't get to know what this was. I truly didn't. But here we are talking about how boredom has gotten to a point in 21st century that some people are afraid. Some people do not want to sit down alone with their thoughts. Let me go back to the comment yet again, just in case you missed it, when we started earlier on. In one famous experiment, people were asked to sit quietly for 15 minutes in a room with nothing but their own thoughts. They also had the option to hit a button and give themselves an electric shock just for 15 minutes. Getting physically shocked is unpleasant. I am scared of being electrified. But many people, electrocuted, I beg your pardon, but many people preferred the emotional discomfort. Preferred it rather to the emotional discomfort of boredom. Out of 42 participants, nearly half opted to press a button once. If you press that button, you get a shock, rather than sitting down for just 15 minutes. It sounds like a short period of time, but here we are, 15 minutes. Some people cannot just be on their own. No phones, no amebo, no gossip, no checking the latest trends. 15 minutes. Your thoughts alone. One person chose to shock himself. Listen to this. 190 times. But we are on a subconscious level teaching our younger children how not to be bored in a very unhealthy way. Like I said, boredom can be good, boredom can be bad. If you're used to the monotony, and some of you are used to, you understand what I mean when you talk about monotony in your jobs, you can use that time. Your body is now used to maybe filing, reports. You are doing it, subconsciously. You become very good. You can actually channel some energy and go, okay, whilst I'm doing this, let me just clear my mind. All right, I'm bored, not doing anything, and then that's true. There's no light, so maybe I can start to sell, this thing in this place that this we don't have light. That's how people use their boredom constructively. Like I said, if your boredom is excessive, it can be indicative of something wrong. That's why some people have suicidal thoughts, because they're alone in their head. They're always bored. There's a phrase, there's a term for this. Some of you may have heard of it. It's called the adrenaline junkie. And an experiment was carried out years ago, and sure, those people who like to jump from planes, skydivers, bungee jumpers, who do things for the thrill of it, right? While people like Jude, and maybe millions of you listening, right, will not jump from a 2-story building because we are bored. Some people will jump from skyscrapers. And they found that the adrenaline level, right, in people like you and I is at a certain level, is normal. So we get excited by maybe a minimal amount of stimuli. But you see those adrenaline junkies, they need more. So they'll go skydiving, bungee jumping, hand gliding, you name it. The more dangerous, the more fun it is for them. The more fun it is. that dopamine levels need to be constantly, engaged for them to feel some sort of, happiness. Feel alive, if you may say so. All right, on WhatsApp, 08090306416. Let's read some messages. 08090306416. Hello, Jude. This is Julie from Stadium Road. Boredom used for positive thinking can't be termed as a bored period, but free time from activity. Many times, my bored period comes as a result of frustration. If I can't solve a challenge, I simply fall into boredom, looking into space with me begging for sleep to come. I love that definition, and it's helped me to understand what triggers my boredom. 923, good morning, please. Good morning.
My name is Ezekiel. I'm from Port Harcourt.
Welcome, Ezekiel. Thank you for joining us, please.
Very bored. I like it because when I'm bored, I kind of have positive reasoning in my mind. Sorry. So, and most of that, I don't like being in public place. I like being private so that I have time for myself. Most of the times, I don't normally feel bored. That is it. I don't normally feel bored.
You don't normally feel bored because you always have something to do?
No, because I like being alone.
You like being... Yeah, no, being alone doesn't necessarily mean you're always bored. But the question is, when you are at that space, right, where nothing's exciting you, being alone doesn't mean you're bored. What do you do? That's the question.
I don't get you.
Did you hear me, Ezekiel?
No, I'm not hearing you. Please come again.
Okay. Now, being alone doesn't mean you are bored. All right? Liking your own space doesn't mean you are bored. But when you're bored, it means nothing's exciting you. You don't feel, everywhere feels dull to you. People can be outside and still be bored. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So the question is, when you are bored, how do you manage it? What do you do when you're in that space? Oh dear, apologies to Ezekiel. All right, now I think society has brainwashed us to think that we should always be doing something. So even times of silence in a marriage make some people to panic because it's like something is wrong. Sometimes, please, just rest. Like literally, rest in Jesus' name. I used to know someone who said some people need constant external distraction because they are afraid to spend time with their own thoughts, which is exactly, this is from an anonymous listener, which is exactly what Elon Musk was highlighting. That some people are so tuned to being stimulated that they'll rather take an electric shock than to sit down quietly for 15 minutes. Just 15 minutes. They can't do it. Okay, all right. This video. Okay, Michael, I've just seen your comments. I think I forwarded this to the news team, but thank you very much. Good morning, Jude. For me, I manage boredom by reading a book, or if a book is not available, I just fantasize. That's enveloping my mind in the world I aspire to attain in life. It is soothing for me, which is what most people do. All right, that's Chinedu on air, which is what a lot of people do. You escape. Your mind has the ability to now travel and figure out some things. Yes, plan your future. And who knows, when you're back from, daydreaming, you can start to work towards it. Zion is back. Zion is speaking to us from GRA. Good morning to you, Zion.
Yeah, thank you.
Good morning.
You see, when we talk about boredom, you are boring. Nothing to offer at that material time. See, Jude, when you are excited in what you are doing, you can never be bored. And when you say for your brain to rest or for you to rest, no, sir. Only time you have to rest is when you are sleeping.
That's not exactly true, because in front of me, I'm reading the paper. It was a paper that was submitted, and it says that after certain tasks are done, it is normal for the brain to relax. When you are driving, do you know some people, when you are driving, your mind is thinking, you are fantasizing. That's the rest state. The brain has taught the body how to drive without even you knowing how to drive.
See, let us be practical here. You drive, I drive. Why are you not that tired when you are driving? Because you are excited. You are feeling every environment. You feel the enthusiasm. When you overtake, they overtake you, and so on. You are reading your meter, you are listening to your music, your favorite song, driving on that meter you can. See, sir, when you are not excited in your daily activities, when you don't have that enthusiasm, boringness falling, there is nothing to talk about. There is nothing to reason. There is nothing to make you smile. You cannot just see. You become boring. And the next thing, you'll be looking for what to do. Some say, oh, I'll go and watch a movie. I'm going to do this, do that. They are only looking for an escape route at that material time. See, let me be honest to you, sir. When you introduce topics, we are excited because, one, we have a little knowledge about that. And as you buttress, that knowledge of which we got gets to expound. Sometimes we even go further to do research, to affirm our thoughts, to confirm our opinion, so that it can be sold out. Sir, what brought us there? Excitement, enthusiasm, another privilege to make sense.
So, Zion, let me ask you.
Talk to one person.
Let me ask you this question, Zion. Now, we had a comment from an anonymous listener, and the person says, Jude, I think society has brainwashed us, right, to think that we must always be doing something. Sometimes just rest. Some people feel that silence is boredom. In a marriage, for example, it's okay to be silent sometimes, isn't it?
Jude, at that time you are silent in that marriage or relationship with your partner at home, one thing creeps in: suspicious. So, Nature did not tell you that, oh, because you must rest. I told you the only time you have to rest is to sleep.
So you're saying that you. I'm saying, so sorry, you're saying you and your partner cannot be sat down in the room without necessarily talking and just enjoy each other's company.
Enjoy what? To be quiet?
Yes.
Just doing nothing?
Yes.
We are not watching movies.
Yes.
We are not listening to music. We are not playing cards.
You are just sitting down.
Just sit down.
Yes.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Something is wrong somewhere.
All right. We have Gabriel on the line in Rumors. We also have Michael in Borokiri. Gabriel, good morning to you, please. Welcome.
Good morning, Jude. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for joining us, Gabriel.
Okay, so the feeling that there won't be any time at all when somebody will just be quiet, I don't think it's correct. We can't be jumping around every time, all the time.
Okay.
At some point, you'll get exhausted. You'll be in certain state of mind that so many things are not interesting you. But there's also a time that you also have to pass. So I don't think anybody can be super excited for all the hours in a week.
Yes.
No way.
That's mania. Way. That's mania.
No way. You know, so like you're saying there, sometimes you can just sit down somewhere quiet. I also travel to the future.
Good.
Yeah. I go to the future, see the new houses, the new cars, and then when we are back, we begin to face reality to get them. So, and sincerely, it works sometimes.
So let me ask you, Gabriel. The last caller says, look, he can't sit down, his wife, just in the room. They're not doing anything. They're not playing Ludo. They're not playing cards or watching movie. They can't just enjoy their quiet space. Do you think you can do that with your partner?
we do it all the time.
You do all the time.
This is what happens when you overtalk. Sometimes you begin to say things that are not existing. You shouldn't have even said in the first place.
Oh, okay.
You create things that just to bring a discussion. No, it is okay to be quiet and then think. It's like praying. And somebody is just shouting. They don't stop to hear what God is saying. Finish praying, relax, and then you listen to what the words are saying, and you learn and you move on.
Okay, Gabriel.
So boredom.
Yeah.
It can happen to everybody. You see, you can even have plenty of money and still be bored.
Somebody alluded to that. Somebody said that earlier on.
You can still be bored.
Okay.
You know, see, you can be playing PlayStation
and be bored,
and you are tired. Just, I beg, I don't tire.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hungry me now. So nobody really, because we're human beings, we get tired at different things.
Gabriel, thank you very much. We have to go on the break. Whew. All right, we'll be back after this. We'll wrap up.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back after this.
As a mom preparing for